In this video, I'll show you a little bit of inner workings of Eliza, what Eliza does really under the hood, and we'll wrap up by covering a little bit of providers and evaluators. In this video, I'm going to start with the Eliza main repo. This repo has all the code, unlike the starter version, so you can actually put debug pointers and log statements anywhere in the code so that you can see what's really happening under the hood. So I'm going to go to Eliza. Let's copy that one. Command prompt to git clone Eliza main. Okay. The Eliza main does take a long time to get and compile, so you will have to be a little more patient than the Eliza starter. So let's see if we'll do PNP. Eliza says first time you run, it asks you to run pnpm in a specific way with no frozen file. So let's see what that command is. This one. All right. Okay. So let's install all the packages. No packages found. Oh, okay. I still have to open the repo. Open folder. I think I said ls main. Okay. Run the pmt install. This usually takes a while. Once that is done, we'll do a build. Cool. That seems to have run without any errors. So now let's figure out which characters we have. Okay, let's use C3PO as our character for testing. I'm used to OpenAI, so I'll just adjust to OpenAI, and then we'll do a copy of the environment file. So this one. So once that's done, and well, all we have to do is go I'll just plug in my key here. I'm going to go off screen a little bit. Okay, now since we are back, let's see if we can test it. The way to test it is our character file, like this, something like that. Okay, so here we will do, name of our file is C3P. Okay, let's start, see what happens. Looks different from previous, but let's see if I can go start another bash, and I'll do a start the client so that we can test. Let's see if that works. Looks like it's up, so let's see. Localhost. All right, C3PO. I'm gonna chat with C3PO. I'm gonna say hi. Cool, right, looks like it's working fine, so we're good. So now we know the main repo is working. Here's where let's dig into a little bit of what happens really under the hood. What is Eliza and what does it help us do? So Eliza basically is a framework to to compose prompts. So what do I mean by that? So ultimately, whatever Eliza gives us, it basically gives us an ability to compose different types of prompts at different using logic, depending on what the agent is doing. But how does it do that? So let's go look a little bit under the hood. So let's see, how can we find out what really happens under the hood? So my favorite way is to start digging at the client. This client has basically the React code, which basically is this front end client which we see. So go in there. Okay, source, lots of UI stuff. Components. Okay, sidebar. What looks interesting? Chat looks interesting. Okay, let's go in there. All right, maybe that's the one. That's probably our UI. Send message is our button. Okay, let's see if we can find a send message. All right, so we have a send message button. It's probably a form somewhere. Okay, form. Oh yeah, okay. There's a form, and this calls send. Handle send message. Handle send message. What does handle send message do? It looks like there's a lot of attachment code, composing, set query data, send message mutation. That looks interesting. Okay, so defined right here. And then that basically calls an API client. Okay, that looks interesting. Send message. Okay, let's dig into that. Okay, API TS. We are still in the client. Okay, API client. It's doing an API call to agent ID / message. Okay, that looks interesting. So this is the API call when. So obviously, when the agent starts up, it starts up an API server, and this client is calling the APIs to make the chat functionality work, basically. So let's see. Okay, I'm gonna do the entire log. Okay, all this is it looks like it's all MD files. Okay. Oh, okay. Look at here. Client direct. Looks like that. That looks interesting. So client direct. Where is this? Client direct. Looks like this is probably the API server code. So let's look into this. This is the route. If you mouse over, it says route matcher. So yeah, so most likely this is what is getting called. Get past the boring stuff. Let's see, ensure connection. Generate message response. So at some point, the agent has to call a language model, like OpenAI in this case. So I'm trying to get to the place where OpenAI is called. So let's dig into this. We go into this, going to the core folder, which is the core agent, and this functionality looks like it's in generate.ts. That's good. Looking into it, get model settings, while true, looks like there's a while loop here, and then inside there we see something interesting called generate text. All right, let's dig into that. We dig into that, and then we see, okay, generating text. That looks interesting, and it is passing runtime and a context. Generating context is empty. Okay, generating text and text with options. Okay, let's dig in a little more. A little more promising. Oh, here. So it's doing a switch on a provider. So this might be where we call OpenAI. Scrolling down, see if we can find OpenAI. here. Okay, so there's a bunch of logic. So this is what Eliza does for you, right? All this you don't have to manually write. Eliza basically builds all the nuts and bolts behind the scenes, and you can use your imagination to build an agent, its capabilities, what goes into the agent, what goes out of the agent, what services it calls, all those things. But the nuts and bolt is what, under the hood, the engine is what Eliza gives you, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So, okay, this looks very promising. Switch provider is calling all here. So we don't need all that. So all I'm interested in, I want to see the prompt, basically, what's happening. Okay, cool. Copilot help me to finish context. So let's see what that is. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to here. I'm gonna do a build again to see if my changes kick in. This might take a while again. Okay, we're back. That built successfully. Let's start it again. Start it up again. Okay, looks like we're ready now. Let's go back to our client. It looks like that's up. Okay, let's see. What is your purpose? Let's see that. What is your purpose? Okay. Let's wait till it gives a response. Oh, excellent inquiry. Okay, let's see if we can find the prompt which went across the okay, I think yes, I said debug. Maybe I need to do it as an info. Let's see. Fortunately, I might have to rebuild it. Okay, since that's done, now just go back. Let's see if the client's still working. Let's ask it, how is the weather up there? Weather up there. Where's the weather up there? Came up with something. Let's see if we got any debug pointers. We did not receive response from. So in this new version, seems like as a logger does not show everything. Looks like there is new logging variable which is set to warn, so we'll change that to info and see if that works. Okay, so look, I am seeing more logs. So let's see if I can test this guy again. What do you eat? Okay, interesting. Right. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm finally seeing more logs. So let's see. So see, all this comes from how we defined C3PO. Let's see if there is Daisy somewhere in here. Daisy. Daisy. Nope. So yeah, so some of this conversation, it's basically it's a building up a prompt. We are giving the agent some of how to respond to the user. So this is this comes from something called Bootstrap plugin, which is basically included in every agent when it starts up. So let's keep going to see if we find anything interesting. Action examples are reference only. Do not use information from them in your response. See, this is how Eliza is instructing the agent. Knowledge, keywords there, task, generate dialogue actions for C3PO, about C3PO. Cool. So all this is probably now starting to come from, yeah, right here, the bio, how we built up C3PO. Additional information, C3PO is maintaining balance of interest, current date is this. So, and its capabilities, is capable of reading, hearing various. All this comes from how we define and how we programmatically built this prompt, right? And then it has message directions, and then it has conversation history. All these things I've asked for. I said hi, purpose. I asked this when I was testing, when I paused the video recording, and what do you eat, right? Yeah, and available actions, how Eliza wants the agent to respond, instructions, and it's giving instructions of how to do this, right? Okay. So what do you eat? All right, so let's copy this prompt, right? All this prompt, right? This is what we're basically sending it to the large language model. So I'm going to copy this, right? Let's see. And remember what response we got. It's like, interesting question. As a protocol droid, I do not require sustenance, right? Okay. So can we do this ourselves, right? Without Eliza, how do we produce such an information? So I'm going to copy paste whatever prompt was spit out from the code. So I paste it as it is, all the way from how it needs to respond to all the way to the bottom of what was printed out. Let's go. Okay, it responded. Fascinating. Remember, Eliza told it to respond in JSON with this format, and it did, right? OpenAI did it. This is basically what we got back. In this case, it said, fascinating query indeed. Droid, I do not consume sustenance. Very similar response to what we got through Eliza. So yeah, so Eliza is one. Of course, Eliza, there's a lot more to it than just prompt building. We can, communicate with outside APIs and bring in information or do certain things, retrieve certain actions for the user. There's a lot more to it, but everything is done basically, ultimately, build a prompt. So let's look at a little more how Eliza helps it. I'm gonna stop this. Okay. So we're going to continue digging into this prompt building and a couple of tools which Eliza provides to build prompts is providers, right? Let's look at a provider. Okay. So what I will do is I'm going to build a sample provider just to get a feel of it. Let's go to the agent. Okay, I'm gonna go to a source and let me make a folder called experiments. Okay, in this folder, I'm going to build a file called testprovider.ts. Okay, in testprovider.ts, let me build it. Const test provider equal to, okay, here provider has a single function called get async. Going at async runtime. I'm on message. Okay, get better completion. Okay, all right. So let me quickly add these to the references. Once this is done, okay, let's do a logger. Eliza test provider get called, right? Okay. Also, I can say I'm going to return a string, right? Let's say C3PO is starting to malfunction, right? And I'm going to say it says, let me see. Actually, no, we should say Mimo at the end of every sentence, right? Okay, so let's say this works. I mean, we're basically saying I'm giving additional data to the prompt. So the idea is they should get added to the prompt before it gets sent to OpenAI. Let's see if that works. So once again, we need to build it. Let's see if we can build it quickly. Oh, somehow it built faster this time. Okay, let's see if it works. I'm gonna start my character. Okay, I think that's ready now. Go in here. This is ready. I'm gonna go back here. Let's go here. Okay, not open API. I'm gonna go back to my logger. It's like, do you have any friends? Do you have any friends? All right, let's see. Yes, I'm fortunate to have R2D2. Oh, okay. D2. Oh, it did not work. All right. I forgot. Let me kill it. Still need to add it. Go to the agent, the source, go to index, and scroll down until you find agent runtime. Okay, I'm sorry, agent runtime. This is an important class. I think this is the brain behind Eliza, basically. So evaluators is here. I'm looking for somewhere I can add my providers. All right, let's see. Provider. Okay, so I'm gonna say test provider. Okay. And then add that as a reference. Why did it test provider? Was hoping it will just do it. Okay. Yeah, and I guess import test provider on experience test provider, right? What does it say? Do I need to? Oh, okay. Guess all I just need to do is export provider. Okay, and then I'll go back here to see if I got resolved. Split. Okay. Go back here. Test provider. Perfect. Everything looks good. Agent runtime. Then I see that in here. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to rebuild this. Hopefully it'll be much faster. Okay, let me restart the character. Okay, it looks like it started. Let me go back here. I'm going to say, do you know? Okay, let's see what it says. cool. It gave me an answer, but just like we instructed, we use a provider to inject an instruction to the agent saying at every end sentence, you know, put in this word. Let's see if we can catch that in the prompt. See, remember this is the prompt. We are logging to the console. If you see this slowly, we will see somewhere in here. Okay, so the provider added additional information about C3 in the world. So the provider added additional information, right? This is our instruction. So when you copy paste this entire code into OpenAI, it should give us a very similar result. So let me do a new one. Do this one. Go right here. So that's one way to use provider. So we can provide information, inject information into the prompt to influence the behavior of the agent. Do one more. We do something called an evaluator. Evaluator basically runs after an action has been performed to update the state of the agent, so to speak. So I'm going to copy paste an evaluator I had from before, but I'll explain what it does. So this is the evaluator. Okay, so what this basically does is, okay, I'm building a small string, right? Character name / user ID, and the variable basically what I'm tracking is something called battery, right? Battery. I'm saying, okay, what is the value of the battery? Just like try to get this from the cache, which is a short-term database. Eliza, you can, if you open up data and you go to DBL SQL client, right, you will find the database here. So this is the cache, right? We're storing it here. And then we go back, right? So I'm checking what value is in the database. If it is undefined, yeah, put in a 5, right? Store 5. If not, subtract the value in the database by 1, right? Update it. Battery key, subtract the battery value. If it was 5 minus 1, 4, right? And then return true. All done, okay? To make this fun, let's adjust the provider. So let's say in the provider, we'll only say the battery value is less than 3 maybe. Then only we will do this, okay? So let's have a pre-built lines of code. I'm going to paste it. Basically the same thing. I'm building a key. I'm getting the value from the database. And then I'm going to say if battery value is less than or equal to 3, then I'm going to return this, right? Else, I'm going to say it's functioning properly, right? Less than 3. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to do is, like in the evaluator, after every time we ask a question, the agent, this evaluator runs, right? And then at that point, we'll start with a battery of 5, and then we'll subtract every time we ask it a question, right? So in the provider, which basically runs bringing prompt, kind of at the beginning of our prompt to the agent, we check the value of the battery and then add instruction to the agent's prompt, okay? Let me not forget adding on this one, but let me go back to the agent and go back to the index. So need to add the evaluator to the, so it will be test evaluator, yeah, okay, and that has been added here. Okay, perfect. All right, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna build it again. Perfect. I'm gonna start this. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, cool. Started. So let's go to the client. Gonna go here. Okay, let me see. Do you like all the new Disney adaptations of Disney Star Wars series? Okay. So this is an action, right? Right, do not post personal preferences. Okay. Don't care with the response, but let's see what happened. The thing I want to do is let's check the database. Go here, cache, right? Let's see additional information. Database functioning properly. Okay. All right, here you go. We do have it. So look, 5. Yeah, C3PO battery value is 5. Okay. And then the provider basically returned C3PO is functioning properly and C3PO is acting fine. All right, let's ask it another question. Big Avengers. Okay, all good. It's still functioning properly. I'm gonna refresh it. Okay, so we went down to 4. Okay, that's good. Let's go ask it something else. Not this one, sorry. Avengers, we would like to discuss inquire about who is the greatest Avenger. Okay. Okay, still pretty good. So let's look at the database. Let's go to the, let's refresh it, and then it went into 3. So this is now, next time when we run it, this is when the provider sees the value is 3, right? Because provider runs at the beginning, evaluator runs at the end. So for provider to pick up the value, it needs to kicks off during the beginning of constructing the prompt, right? So we'll go and ask it one more question. Okay, who is the greatest Star Wars robot? Cool. I'm curious what it thought. I bet it's R2D2's resourcefulness, BBS charm. All right. But anyway, what we are interested is in this keyword, right? Like now the provider saw the value was 3 less, right? And then this means the battery value went down to E or below, and that's when the provider injected it. Let's we'll check. It said usually that kind of information is in the additional information. The provider injects information into the additional information, and this is where we saw it. Cool. Obviously, this is just a fun example of to demonstrate how evaluators and providers run. If you look at various folders, you will see how evaluators and providers are used. In his Dev School series uses the Bootstrap plugin to demonstrate the use of evaluators and plugin. You can check out that video. You can easily find it. Google Shaw Dev School. Or you can just dig into this code here. It'll help you understand what providers and evaluators do. Thank you.